Did you give consent?
No, I was just laying there, and then she put it in. Me. And it didn't feel right. I didn't like it.
I mean, ouch.
What's up, guys? I can't see you because, like, y'all see your LED on the camera. It's like...
So we don't know if we're in frame, but we hope we're in frame. But today we're here. Matt will grab it real fast. But today we're going to be talking about another underappreciated movie. We're going to continue that series because we just love doing this. We love talking about movies that we've seen that we love that don't get the mass, appreciation that they deserve. And today, last time we talked about The Grey. Today we're talking about Donnie Darko. Now, you've seen this movie, right, Matt?
Right, I've seen it like a tons of times. I remember this movie was like on like my top 10, even top 5 movies that I always wanted to see, but I never really had a way of doing it. But like one day I found it was on Netflix, and I was like, dude, I gotta watch this.
I think it's still on Netflix too, and it's a great one. It has Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal. They play brother and sister, which is kind of funny, and we also got Patrick Swayze in it. So I mean, it's all around great cast.
I mean, this movie has like such a crazy, twisty story from like beginning to end. You got like Frank the Rabbit. You got a bunch of different, storylines. But
it's
before we
like
get into that,
it's almost like a time traveling, like psychological thriller. Like it's just a bunch of stuff's happening all at the same time.
Right, and one of the things to mention about this movie is that it is a dark movie. Like it's Donnie Darko, and like if you look at the cover of the movie, it's not really that bad. I saw the movie. It wasn't that bad, but like my sister is 10 years older than me, and she said that when she saw that movie, she said that she was like effed up for like a week. Like that movie made her really, really depressed.
Requiem for a Dream will mess you up,
right,
mentally for a while. No, but like I wouldn't consider this like a really dark movie. I would consider it a dark comedy because there's a lot of comedical aspects to this movie. Basically, the gist of this movie is that the main character Donnie, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, is getting like these almost like premonitions. He's getting like a character called Jack the Rabbit, right? Or
no, Frank the Rabbit.
That's right. Frank the Rabbit is just like this projection of his subconscious or something that's warning him that there's imminent doom. Like I think it's 27 hours at the start of the movie.
It's something like that. It's like within the it's within days or week.
Yeah, it's imminent. Like the end is coming, and like this fact is kind of like driving him like crazy, and it's starting to like it's talking to him and telling him to do things, and Donnie's character is doing them. He's listening to what this rabbit's telling him to do, and it's pushing him to like vandalize his school, just put him in a lot of risk. He's sleepwalking, he's riding bikes, he's outside at night, and he's not aware of what he's doing, and this is putting him in risk. And alongside of that, there's an old lady that lives down the road. They call her like Miss Death, I think was what they called her.
I don't remember that.
They call her Miss Death, and she is this like just this old lady, but she wrote a book about like pretty much what he's experiencing, and it was kind of laughed at in the scientific community.
Oh, I think I remember a little bit about what you're talking about.
So like he is getting really into science because he's like seeing these wormholes and alternate realities. So he goes to a science teacher, and the science teacher thinks he's just nuts. His whole family thinks he's nuts. So they ended up sending him to a therapist, and she diagnoses him with paranoid schizophrenia. So the whole family thinks he's crazy. He thinks he's crazy. And these visions are getting worse and worse, and nobody believes him, and he's kind of stumbling upon all these facts from this old lady. And then I think she ends up like dying or something, and basically
one of the things to mention is that a lot of effed up shit happens throughout this movie. You got characters dying is on that list. You got some people committing very extreme crimes. I won't say what character, but paid by a very famous actor. His character ends up being built up throughout the entire movie as this great icon, this pinnacle human being, and you end up finding out that he commits this really like
can we say want to say the crime?
Yeah.
The crime is he has a child sexy time dungeon that he
sexy time dungeon. He has child pornography, and they find that sort of stuff.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
And there's also the aspect of the Frank the Rabbit. There's a part where I think it's towards the beginning, or maybe it's the end. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I'm trying to just recall everything that happens, but like a turbine to an airplane breaks off, and it crashes right into Donnie's room.
Yeah, and Donnie,
but since he's gone, because this premonition has this vision has taken him away, he ends up surviving. If he hadn't had left, he died. So at that point, he kind of trusts this vision. Like he's obviously schizophrenic. He's seeing these things that are not real, but he's starting to trust, those instincts that this is giving him. Like he's starting to trust what this thing is telling him to do.
Basically, what happens is the movie starts off. Donnie's not in his room, and in this premonition, he sees it, and he decides to go away. An airplane, a jet turbine crashes through their house, obviously, but nobody knows where it came from. No planes have reported missing one, and it turns out by the end of the movie, a lot of crazy shit's happening on Donnie's end, on Donnie's family's end, and one of the things that ends up happening is, and you end up finding out that is that this plane will end up crashing, but it does end up happening. But the only way that he can save the people on the plane, which actually his mother and his sister are on that plane, is if he stays. He watches that premonition. He goes through a wormhole. He takes everything back in time. He sends that or that jet turbine back through the wormhole, but this time he decides not to leave his room, and the jet turbine crashes, killing him.
But
and
he saves everybody.
He saves
else.
a lot of people. At one point throughout the movie, he ends up getting with some girl down the street, and they have like this really awesome romantic relationship.
It's really
cool.
great, and he's like looks like he's getting better, and he's turned a new leaf, and he's really happy, but it just gets really destructive, and it ends up. I mean, some things happen. Don't want to spoil anything, but like some bad things happen between them, and somebody ends up getting extremely hurt.
And Donnie's life during this period is really effed up. A lot of bad things are happening, and he realizes by the end of it, in order for him to save people, he wants to commit a good thing, so he ends up making an ultimate sacrifice, and nobody knows why.
And Drew Barrymore is in this movie. She plays the English teacher, but I can't recall. She had some, had a part.
Her studio actually financed the movie, and they published it. And that's one of the things that I've been thinking of, I wanted to mention. This movie ended up not making its money back, so, I mean, it ended up bombing financially, but critically, this movie is great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, and I'm trying to remember the part that she played in that movie, because she did, it wasn't a huge part, but
it was an English teacher, ended up getting sacked throughout the movie.
But, she did something to persuade him to do something, or she had some influence. It might have been the books they were reading, but it influenced him in some way to do something, and I can't recall.
Right, and basically, it has something to do with her and Donnie or students, and she essentially is going against the administration or her bosses. Mm-hmm. And there's one teacher or administrative person throughout this movie for the school who you don't generally like at all, and it's just a really dumb storyline with her, but her character fits a purpose in this movie. And she ends up, I believe, she's the one who ends up getting Drew Barrymore's character sacked.
Mm-hmm. And also, if this wasn't enough to convince you to watch it, there is, I think it's about half through the movie, we talked about the one character, we won't say who it is, who had the child porn. He's, at the school giving this, life is great, everything's awesome, this is how you should live it, with all these things, and Jake Gyllenhaal just delivers this amazing monologue, and just pretty much calls this dude, I think he calls him the fucking Antichrist, I think is the literal quote.
Oh, yeah.
He just delivers this awesome monologue that's just, it's really captivating, and it really shows how much talent he had, even at a young age. So, I mean, if you want to watch a movie, I mean, it has a very interesting, twisty story, and you can't really ever tell what's going to happen next. Really well acted. Jake Gyllenhaal was amazing. And, I mean, it's a captivating story, and it's so much more different than anything else you're going to find, that it will really draw you in if you just give it a chance.
Right, and another thing to note real quick is this is, I believe, one of Seth Rogen's earliest roles.
Yeah, that is. Seth Rogen is in it, and he plays the bully, right?
He plays a bully who gives this really nasty line where basically this new student, the girl that he ends up dating, is talking about, her parents, and these bullies are making these comments, and then he's just like, didn't your dad stab your mom?
Yeah, it's really messed up. So it's either this, or it's what is it? Freaks and Geeks. It's one of the two. But yeah, Seth Rogen's in it. Great movie. Donnie Darko. I would give it 9 out of 10. What would you give it?
I'm going to give this movie, I would give it a 9 out of 10 as well.
It's great. There are some things that the plot gets kind of convoluted. It kind of trips over itself, but it's great. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you watch this video, like I said, drop a review down there. Tell us what you think. Thanks for watching. This has been Mitch.
And this is Matthew. Thanks for watching.